very much, Roberto. Thanks, Aaron, for joining this session. So yeah, I would like to present on our paper reporting on our work about automated analysis of rhetorical categories in student essays based on Bloom's taxonomy. And first, I would like to thank my co-authors for all their help and support in this study. And in particular, I would like to thank Serish for her leadership in this whole project. She did a really good job, and she couldn't be with us today to present the paper. So yeah, let me just briefly speak to the task that we explored in the study. So we observed writing from multiple sources. So very common, popular task across different domains, across different levels of education, subjects, and so on, and across different genres as well. Students are often required to write argumentative essay based on multiple sources, or explanatory paper, or lab report, and so on. And even though this task is very popular and it's meant to elicit the development of writing skills and deeper engagement with source knowledge, it's commonly perceived as challenging to many students because it involves multiple cognitive and metacognitive processes the students need to engage in to accomplish their goals for writing tasks. For example, they need to simultaneously engage with source documents and with rhetorical space of their essay draft, right? To comprehend information from sources, such as integrate information across few texts, for example, explain information and so on, and blend this new information, this new knowledge in their essay to accomplish goal of written composition. And at the same time, assisting students with this task is also considered a challenging task to educators because they often need to examine fine-grained characteristics of students' essays that count towards the essay score, such as, for example, in argumentative essay, students are often required to provide claim, to provide evidence and rebuttal, for example, in one of the argumentative models. And the instructor will need to dig into the essay draft and identify the presence of these categories, which will then determine the final essay score. This task has been obviously considered generally time-consuming, and some scoring inconsistencies as well can be introduced because sometimes multiple tutors can rate essays in one cohort. And to address this challenge, we explored whether the fine-grained characteristics, rhetorical characteristics of essay can be analyzed based on Bloom's taxonomy in our case, and whether to what extent machine and deep learning approaches can be used to automate this analysis. And I'll speak to these approaches in a minute, what we did actually. So just a quick recap of Bloom's taxonomy. That revised version from Kraftwell that involves 6 levels of cognitive engagement. Remember and understand are commonly considered as the low-level cognitive skills, if you will, and apply, analyze, and evaluate are considered high-order cognitive skills. And we use this taxonomy to inform the analysis of our essays. More formally, we ask the following 2 research questions. To what extent can the categorization of sentences be automated according to rhetorical categories based on Bloom's taxonomy? And to what extent rhetorical categories are predictive of writing performance? So with the research question 1, we try to explore whether the existing approaches in a conventional and deep learning methods and algorithms can be used to to identify fine-grained characteristics of essays based on Bloom's taxonomy. And with the second research question, we wanted to explore more deeply different rhetorical profiles of those essays and see how they related to different levels of achievement. So we created 2 achievement groups and explored rhetorical profiles based on Bloom's taxonomy. So what we did, we collected data from, we invited 253 first-year graduate students in a university in China that who were enrolled in an academic writing course in English. The students' first language was Mandarin. The task itself involved 120-minute essay writing. Students were provided 16 source texts on 3 different topics: artificial intelligence, scaffolding, and differentiation. And they were required to write a short essay between 200 and 400 words. This essay has been considered as a vision essay, meaning that they were required to integrate information across all the 3 topics and describe their vision of education in schools in 2035 based on information from the articles they read. So they pretty much needed to describe how they envision education in 2035, given the rise and the advancements of artificial intelligence. And this assignment counted towards 10% of total course grade. We collected 226 essays, as 27 students did not participate in the study. In the data annotation stage, we first score each essay relative to those 4 parts of the scoring rubric. These 4 parts of the scoring rubric. The first and the last part weren't used in this analysis because they were just there, the first one, to identify whether students provided information related to AI, differentiation, and scaffolding or not. In their essay, something that we were more interested in was the integration, and word count wasn't obviously used in this analysis as well. So we were interested in the integration part and the future vision score. So students who, for example, mentioned one topic in their vision essay, and based on that one topic, developed their future vision, would be given, for example, 2 points for their integration. All students who mentioned all 3 topics would be given 6 points for the integration part. Of course, they needed to mention these 3 topics in an integrative way by combining and synthesizing information across sources. The unit of analysis was a sentence, so each sentence was manually classified into one of the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, following the operational definitions that we articulated from the taxonomy for this study. So, for example, a sentence classified as remember will be that one just recalling or paraphrasing source information without any deeper transformation of that source knowledge in student essay. While, for instance, create would be the sentence that offers suggestions or proposals based on source information or based on information from multiple sources as well. And these are some examples of the sentences that we classified in the essay, and you may find this same table in the paper for more details. And in the data processing and the extraction, the feature extraction stage, we developed conventional and deep learning machine models to identify rhetorical categories within essays. In terms of the conventional models, we created features based on prior literature that relates to automated analysis of educational text. The features were based on log, co-metrics, and adjacent sentences. And once we created these 252 features altogether, we used those to train and evaluate conventional machine learning models, which were random forest, extreme gradient boosting, linear regression, support vector machine, and the naive Bayes. We also developed a BERT-based deep learning model that is grounded in a predefined language model BERT, and evaluated those models using the matrices that I will just show in a second. So first, we explored whether this task can be set as a multi-label, multi-class classification task, and how the models in this type of task would perform. And we found that BERT-based deep learning model performed the best with accuracy of 75% and cup of 0.4. We deemed that not sufficient for this type of analysis, so we transformed the task into the binary problem and classified each category separately. And the results that the BERT model achieved in this kind of problem were more encouraging, spanning typically between 0.82 and 0.9. Okay. And yeah, in the data preparation stage, as I mentioned, we created 2 performance groups. That's what we needed to answer our research question 2. The low performers earned 0 to 2 points. The medium performing group, students in medium performing group earned 4 to 6 points. And those students who performed the best in the cohort earned 7, 8, or 9 points. And these 3 achievement groups were used to observe their students' rhetorical profiles. To more closely evaluate rhetorical information in text, we used network analysis. In this case, epistemic network analysis, and this is how the epistemic network analysis looked like for each of the 3 groups. So the nodes represent rhetorical categories in the essays. The more often 2 nodes co-occur in the same essay, 2 categories co-occur in the same essay, the thicker the edge between the 2 of them in the graph. So for example, E standing for evaluation, R for remember. It seems like they tend to co-occur quite often in the essays in the low performing group. But I'll probably show the next slide. Now, because of the 2 slides from here, they more clearly describe what's the difference between these performance groups, because sometimes it's not very clear when we're looking at these graphs separately. So first, what we did, we performed a t-test to examine whether there is a statistically significant difference between groups, and we found that there is statistically significant difference in the reflection profile between group 1 and group 2, and also between group 1 and group 3. The difference between groups 2 and 3 were not statistically significant. So group 1 is low performance, 2 is medium, and 3 is high. And these are subtract networks now that show the differences between, we look at group 1 and group 2, and group 1 and group 3, because they too were statistically significant. The bluish color over there shows the prominent connection in the low performing group, while the purple one shows the prominent connections in the medium performing group. So it seems like in the low performing group, students tended to couple A1 stands for apply and remember. So they tended to pretty much paraphrase information from source documents, and occasionally provide some real world examples associated with that information. In the medium performing group, students tended to more often combine remember with create and evaluate, meaning that they engaged in a deeper introduction with source materials. Looking at the graph 2, we may see the difference between group 1 and group 3. So again, the bluish line refers to the dominant edge in group 1, while the green, the yellow ones, the yellow connections, refer to the edges that are the most prominent in group 3, which is a high-performing group. And you may notice that students in a high-performing group, again, tended to more often utilize, create, remember, evaluate, and also A2, which stands for analyze. So it seems like the analysis was present in this group too. So these were the major results, and just a few implications of our study. So we hope that the findings will inform automated assessment of student essays at fine grained level, at the level of Bloom's taxonomy, which may approximate cognitive engagement of students when they were developing a written product, but not necessarily always. We need probably more data, like a trace data that measure what students did, how they interacted with text, and so on, and the keystroke data that tell us the revisions they implemented, for example, to their essays, to reveal more about their processes. But we hope with this approach we made a step towards revealing cognitive processes and actions behind developing essay from multiple sources. We hope that the instructional scaffolds may be designed based on the results and inform the development of learning analytics tools for automated writing automation. Hope I was on time. Thanks.